On today's podcast, we dive into the 10 things you should know about the real estate market in 2024 if you're facing foreclosure. Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is DJ Olojo, and welcome to another episode of the Foreclosure Fix podcast, where our goal is simple: to help 1 million homeowners successfully navigate foreclosure. Now, if that mission resonates with you, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share our content with someone who you know can benefit, or better yet, get them a copy of our latest book called The Foreclosure Fix: 12 Proven Steps to Beat the Bank, Escape Foreclosure, and Turn Your Property into a Profitable Asset. Y'all, I am looking forward to today's podcast because we are diving into the top 10 things you should know about the foreclosure market and about the real estate market in September 2024. So if you're facing foreclosure or you're new to the Foreclosure Fix family, welcome. But what I want to dive in today is all the things that I think are important for you as somebody who may be on the brink of foreclosure or in the middle of foreclosure to consider, to think about, and some statistics to help you make a good decision about how you move forward regarding your foreclosure situation. And so with that, I want to kick off the first thing, the number one thing that you should always know if you are facing challenges pertains to foreclosure, is that help with your foreclosure situation is, yes, I said it, F-R-E-E, one of my favorite words, gratis, or, not pro bono. I guess pro bono is legal work. But anyway, free is free, right? And so what I mean by free is that the government has set up different things like home counselors and things like that you can tap into. So if you just Google HUD.gov and you look at foreclosure avoidance or things like that, you will see there are numbers there. You can call the HUD hotline and they can connect you with housing counselors in your area to help you through your situation. Yes, foreclosure help is always free. So I want to start with that. If you did not know that, now you know. Foreclosure help is always free. Yes, there are paid services out there. You don't necessarily need to use those services. You can always start with the free service. You can always check out our website, theforeclosurefix.com, for free resources. We have links to other services as well that you can check out. So just check out our site, theforeclosurefix.com, and there are free resources out there for you if you're facing foreclosure. So if you walk away with nothing else, please keep that in mind. If you're facing foreclosure, there are free resources. Also, if you have received correspondence from a licensed attorney in your state, there likely are a list of free available resources in your county, in your area. So make sure you are reading those documents and review those resources because they can help you in your time of need. They can help you get through this challenging time. All right. The second thing I want to say about the foreclosure market as of September 2024 is that when we look at bankruptcies are up. And what I mean by bankruptcies are up, they're up by a significant amount. It looks like as of the last recording, which was June 2024, bankruptcy filings were at 486,613 compared with the previous year where they were at 418,724. So what does that tell you? You got, almost 70,000 more people who are filing bankruptcy. So if you're considering that and you're facing foreclosure, you're not alone. Don't think that it's just you. Woe is me. I'm the only one dealing with this problem. No, there are a lot of other people who are choosing to file bankruptcy to preserve their house, to keep their home and things like that. And that is not a bad thing. So do not look at your situation and take bankruptcy off the table because it may be the thing that can save you and save your home in this time of need and give you the financial reset that you may need in your situation. And so again, bankruptcy filings are up. We know that credit card debt is up. And so if you're looking at your bills and you're having, less month than money and you are in a situation where you need to reset your finances, a bankruptcy may be something you should consider to protect your home and to reset your finances. Number 3, as of July 2024, the share of first-time home buyers is around 37%, which shows that first-time home buyers are still actively in the market. They're making up a large lion's share portion of the market. And so I give you the statistic for two reasons. One, if you are thinking about selling your home and you're facing foreclosure, if your home is in that affordable price range, you will have lots of interest in it. And so just keep that in mind. First time home buyers are making up almost 40% of the market. They're people who are just getting into the market. And so they're typically looking for those more affordable price properties. And so if you're looking at your area and you are on the higher end of things for the area you live in, then your home may take a little bit longer to sell. However, if your home's in that affordable price range, you may be able to sell it a lot quicker. So first time home buyers are making up 37% of the market right now. And so just keep that in mind as you think about your strategy if you are deciding to sell your home in foreclosure, or as you think about your timeline in selling your home, or if you want to transition and pull the equity out of your home via a sale. The next thing I'll tell you is that the share of piggyback mortgages, specifically FHA piggyback mortgages, are up about 7% between June 2022 and now, right? And so what is a piggyback mortgage? Think of a second mortgage, or basically when someone does not have enough financing in their first mortgage to get a property, they pick up a second mortgage. And so the reason why this statistic is important to me, because some of you out there who are facing foreclosure may not be facing foreclosure on your first mortgage. You may be facing foreclosure on your second mortgage. And you may think that your second mortgage does not have the ability to foreclose on you. Well, you are wrong. If you have two mortgages, right, and you are paying one but not paying the other, guess what? The one you're not paying has the right and the ability to foreclose. So do not be tricked. Do not think that just because you're paying your first mortgage, which is the higher mortgage, and the second mortgage, which may be only $10,000 or $15,000 or whatever amount it is, it's lower than the first mortgage, you don't have to pay. That is a farce. That is false. And you need to make sure that you're paying that mortgage, because we see people who have second mortgages get foreclosed on all the time. And they're looking gobsmacked. They're looking shocked, saying, why did the second mortgage foreclose on me? They can't do that. That's not possible. That is not the truth. And so we're here to tell you that if you have a second mortgage, you need to make sure you're servicing that mortgage. You need to make sure you're paying that mortgage, and you need to make sure you take it seriously. And so again, as we look at the statistics, second mortgages are up. And so again, that just shows that the real estate market is expensive, and you need to make sure that if you are facing foreclosure, you are paying your second mortgage. Number 5, investors are moving away from flipping. Yes, this may be a regional or local, or, this may be a kind of a regional statistic, and it may not be what you're seeing in your area. But according to CoreLogic, right, investor purchase indicator data shows that only 12% of the homes purchased in December 2023 were resold by June 2024. Again, this is interesting data. And the reason I say that is because historically, that number will be around 17%. So when CoreLogic pulls their data and they say, okay, how many homes were bought and then resold about 6 or so months later, they see typically it's about 17%, which shows an investor is flipping property. Now that number has dropped to 12%. And so that shows a couple things about the current real estate market that are very important for you as a homeowner facing foreclosure. Number one, it says that flipping in this environment is more challenging. There are higher labor costs, higher material costs, and just the market in general has made it difficult with the higher interest rates, higher financing costs, and things like that. And so for flippers to make a profit, it is much more difficult than it has been in previous years. And so when you are thinking about selling your home, or you're thinking about your foreclosure situation and your home may be in disrepair, when someone comes in to give you an offer on that home, if they are buying it on the open market, or if they're coming off market and coming to you and saying, hey, I want to buy your house, guess what? Your offer will most likely be lower than it has been in the past if your property is in disrepair. And the reason why is simply because those repairs are costing people more. Materials are higher, roofing shingles are more, paint is more expensive, sheetrock or drywall, depending on where you're from, whatever you want to call it, is more expensive. And then the labor associated with it is more expensive to repair and install. And so keep that in mind, that if your home is in disrepair, you may be receiving some lowball offers. Now, we do have a strategy outlined in the Foreclosure Fix book about how to deal with lowball offers, about how to generate the most offers possible. And I would tell you that that strategy basically goes into the step-by-step process for you to procure numerous offers so you're getting the most value for your home. But keep in mind, if your home is in disrepair in today's environment with flippers getting away from the market, you may not get as much as you think your house is worth because the repairs to fix it will cost future homeowners or investors a lot of money. So again, that is a real statistic you need to keep in mind and something you need to factor in to your decision on how you move forward in your foreclosure. Number 6, the share of mortgage delinquencies increased by about 3% as of June, which is the highest rate since December 2023. Again, this data is a little bit delayed because it takes a few months. But again, when you think about mortgage delinquency, that's not saying somebody who is deep in foreclosure for numerous years. That's saying those people who have just now become delinquent, right? And so that number is starting to increase, which means the foreclosures behind the delinquency typically come 6 to 12 months later, because where there is smoke, there's typically fire. And as you know, again, we have credit cards, balances increasing, we have increased bankruptcies, and we have increased foreclosures. That's a trifecta, y'all. So make sure you are taking care of your financial situation and make sure that if you are on the verge of foreclosure, you're not in foreclosure yet, but you're starting to be delinquent, you need to communicate with your servicer. You need to communicate with your lender. You need to request maybe a forbearance. You need to let them know what's going on. And so that way you can save yourself on costly legal fees associated with them filing foreclosure and you going back and forth in and out of foreclosure. It is frustrating for you as a homeowner, and it's frustrating for the servicer and for the lender when you are going in and out of foreclosure. Specifically, I'm thinking about one of the files that I'm working as an asset manager. And basically this person is really, really frustrating because they pay for 2 or 3 months and then they won't pay for 3 or 4 months. And once it passed 90 days, the lender says, all right, start foreclosure action. And then they start the foreclosure action. This person finds the money to pay back, 5 months worth of payments plus legal fees. And then the process starts all over again. But this person is basically wasting, $2,000 a year by going in and out of foreclosure, because every time an attorney gets involved, it gets more expensive. And when you're paying attorneys $500 an hour to draft letters, to communicate with people, that adds up real quick. And that person could be saving themselves $2,000 a year just by paying their mortgage on time, or at least communicating with the servicer saying, hey, I have a job where I get big bonuses and those bonuses come in sporadically. If for some reason I get 9 days behind, I plan to catch it up, or this is the date I plan to catch it up. Put a plan in place so that way they know exactly how to move forward versus being in a situation where they are just delinquent perpetually. All right. And so if you see that as a problem for you, or you are about to be delinquent on your mortgage, please make sure you communicate with your loan servicer. They are not the boogeyman, and you need to talk to them. You need to let them know what's going on. It is better to over communicate than to under communicate. And again, silence means that you don't take it seriously, and you may be having sleepless nights about it. You may be rolling around the bed, pacing at night, and you can't even sleep because your foreclosure situation is so bad. But if you say nothing to the attorneys, if you say nothing to the servicer, if you don't tell anybody and you just are holding this all in, guess what? You're the only one who knows about what's going on. The servicer can't read your mind. They are not mind readers. And so you need to make sure you call, you communicate, you leave records. One of the things that you need to know is that when you call the loan servicer, you may hear a prompt saying that this call may be recorded, right? And so why do they do that? Because they go back and they transcribe that information. They're called servicing notes. When a borrower calls into a loan servicer, notes are placed in the file, letting the servicer know exactly what's going on. And so that way the lender can look at the notes and say, okay, maybe we can delay foreclosure for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Maybe we can offer a forbearance. Maybe we can modify this loan. There are options for you, but no one will ever give you those options if they don't know you need those options. And so keep that in mind. All right, number 7, nearly 92% of all mortgages right now have rates below 6.5%. Yes, you heard me. 92% of all mortgages right now, as you think about homeowners, not necessarily investment property. I'm talking about people who are homeowners, have mortgage rates below 6.5%. That being said, as you are evaluating your situation, if your mortgage is below 6.5% and you have a house that you like and you're considering, do you sell, do you keep it, what do you do? 6.5%, most people have rates below that. And as you think about the current market, I think rates as of September 2024 are hovering in that, 6.5 to 6 range. And so keep that in mind. If you're thinking about moving and trying to get a new mortgage, you may end up being higher than 6.5% if you have bad credit, or if you're in a situation where you want to downsize or things like that, 6.5% may be that average. So if you're coming from a 3% or a 4% mortgage, you probably will be higher. The other thing I want to tell you about that 6.5% is that for some people who have 8% or 7%, they're most likely going to refinance in the coming months, right? To the rates that are significantly lower than where they are. And so when you are evaluating what to do, selling your house and things like that, if you're on the higher end of the rate spectrum, maybe you are above 6.5, you may be in a position to sell your house and get a lower rate on a different house, or to refinance, to pull out some equity and then put yourself in a better financial situation. And so again, I'm giving you these statistics not because I think that they are life-changing or life-altering. I want you to know them so you can know what the best thing to do in your situation is, because everyone's situation is different. And sometimes you need some data points to be able to help you think through your situation properly. All right. So 6.5% is around the range where 92% of most homeowners have a mortgage rate of that or below. That being said, abandoned homes, number 8. In foreclosure are down 20% annually. So a lot of times when people think about homes that are in foreclosure, you think about that dilapidated, boarded up house, in a bad neighborhood that no one wants to claim or nobody wants to be a part of. Well, those houses are down 20%. Most houses facing foreclosure right now are owner-occupied property, and they have homeowners in them. And so keep that in mind, that the rate of abandoned homes is down 20%. And so again, if you're facing foreclosure and you live in your house, guess what? You're not alone. There are other people out there who are facing the same situation. Number 9, according to the Federal Reserve, 54.4% of all families have retirement accounts, leaving nearly half of Americans without retirement account. The other thing is that the average 401k balance as of the first quarter of 2024, according to Fidelity's research, is $125,900. Why is this statistic important for you if you're facing foreclosure? One is because if you have a retirement account, which I'm assuming 50% of you don't, just based off the statistics, then your house may be part of your retirement plan. And so it is very important as you consider what to do when you're facing foreclosure with your property. Do you sell your house, take a cash windfall, and go rebuild again? Do you keep your house and figure out the way to navigate this current storm and have a house that may be paid off by the time you're ready to retire? Again, these are all different things you should consider. But as we look at the economy, as we look at what other folks are doing who have faced similar situations, you need to take a look at your entire financial picture, which means that, do you have a goal of $1 million in retirement? Well, your house may make up a portion of that. The equity you have in your house, or being able to get a HELOC, or being able to get a reverse mortgage, or whatever else may be the case. And so again, I am giving you these statistics to help you really think through exactly what you should be doing in your foreclosure situation. I know sometimes when we are stressed out, we don't have great insight and we make bad decisions. And so sometimes it's better to take a step back, really look at all what the data is telling you to figure out the best way that you can move forward. The last thing, number 10, is that if you are thinking about listing your property, we are going into the colder months and we are about to hit fall here soon. As we go from fall to winter, the houses move a little bit slower depending on what market you're in. The holidays come around. People are not worried about buying houses, but people are worried about spending time with family and what I'm getting for Christmas and making it December to remember. And you need to make a decision on what you want to do with your house, because it may take longer to sell than you anticipate. And so as we go into the colder months, really keep that in mind. The other thing is that you can negotiate the percentage of what you are paying your realtor on the sale of your property. And so again, those are the last kind of three things that I'm going to tell you all in one, is that colder months are coming, the holidays are coming, and you can negotiate what you pay your realtor. Now, should you negotiate? How to negotiate? The best thing to do when you're working with realtors, I'm going to save that for another podcast, which will be coming out very soon. But that being said, please keep that in mind as my number 10, that we are going into the colder months. And if you are thinking about selling, you may want to move fast to get your property on the market so you can get it sold before the end of the year. And you're not in a situation where you thought it was going to move quickly, but it took a very long time to do so. All right, that concludes our top 10 list. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this information was helpful. Shoot us a comment or something like that, and let us know what you want to hear. Our bow tie round for today, which our bow tie is our best advice for somebody facing foreclosure, the one thing you're grateful for, or your wildest or most interesting foreclosure related story, goes like this. My best advice for you if you're facing foreclosure is to get your health checked. Yes, you may say, DJ, that's not really foreclosure advice. That's health advice. Well, I'm here to make sure you are okay. And you being okay is making sure your health is okay. I recently had some deaths of friends and loved ones in my family, and who were close to me, and they were young people. And when I say young, one person was just like 41, another person was just 65, and they had heart attacks. And so again, I am just telling you, get your health checked. I hear about different people who get different diagnoses all the time. And it is scary sometimes to go to the doctor, especially when you know you don't feel 100% or something may feel off. It is scary, but it is more scary and it's worse not to know what's going on. And so don't avoid it, because as I think about one of my friends who passed away, you know, he had a family history of heart disease and things like that. And multiple people in his family have faced the same thing, but he was just too slow to get to the doctor. He was just too slow to get it checked out. Don't let that be you. Please make sure that you are getting your health checked. I know that it can be scary. I know that making time to go to the doctor is annoying, to have to go and wait, fill out paperwork, draw blood, do all this other stuff. I get it. It sucks. But it is a necessary evil. And you being here for your family and the ones who love you is more important than being frustrated for 30 minutes or an hour as you wait in the doctor's office. It is so important. Please, please, please make sure you are getting your health checks. The one thing I'm grateful for, I am grateful for essential oils. Yes, that sounds pretty crazy, but we do a lot of candles in my house, and my wife loves scents, and she recently has gotten into like this whole diffuser thing, and she is dropping essential oils all over the house and diffusers. And you know, one day my house smells like a spa with eucalyptus and mint. The next day it smells like roses. So it's pretty cool. The house smells great. I don't know how much she's spending on it, so I probably need to make sure I'm looking at my Amazon account to see if I need to rein her in. But that being said, I think it's great to kind of have a spa-like feel in your house. Makes you feel real relaxed, real great, and allows me to do these podcasts with a cheerful and joyous attitude. All right, so I'm grateful for essential oils, which again sounds a little crazy, but hey, you know, life is such. That being said, my wildest or most interesting foreclosure-related story comes from a file that I am working where the borrower is delinquent. And this is something that I need you to listen to if you are facing foreclosure and you're trying to reinstate your mortgage. Well, this person is facing foreclosure. They got sent a demand letter from the attorney. And the demand letter basically says that, hey, you need to pay us, otherwise we're filing foreclosure. They got the letter. They called. They acted. And they said, hey, we have the money. Where do we send it? We're going to send it in right away. And just say for ease of numbers, they owed $2,200, right? Well, they sent a check for $2,002. And so they are $198 short of what they're supposed to pay back. Guess what? The lender does not accept that check. Why? Because they are delinquent. And yes, you may say, that's not fair. They sent the wrong number. You know, they were trying to do the right thing. I get it. I accept it. That is true. But guess what? They did not do the right thing because they put the wrong amount on there. And so it is so important that when you are dealing with these things, are very specific. You need to pay attention. Yes, that small slip up may cause that person to incur more legal fees because guess what? The bank is going to continue with the foreclosure. And if they don't recognize it and they don't fix it and they don't respond to the servicer when they call and they ignore the servicer, guess what? That is their problem. It's their fault. Yes, it may seem crazy, it may seem harsh, but you need to be specific when you are dealing with the bank. It is so important that you are not making mistakes like that as you are dealing with reinstating your loan or paying off your loan. Cents count. The numbers matter, and you need to make sure that you're paying attention when you are dealing with the bank. That concludes another podcast, y'all. I am so grateful for you listening in. I'm grateful for you being a part of the Foreclosure Fix family. If the mission to help 1 million homeowners resonates with you, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. Let us know what you want. You can reach us at help@theforeclosurefix.com. Again, that's help@theforeclosurefix.com. And we are here for you. As always, I love you. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. The views and opinions on this podcast are for informational purposes only and should not be construed as legal advice. If you have a specific legal question, we highly recommend you contact a qualified legal professional.